Okay, welcome everybody to the September 9th broadcast of our So What Zoomcast. My name is Linda Hahn and I'm coming to you from Palm Bay, Florida. My co-host, Deborah Stanley, is coming to you from Matawan, New Jersey. Put in the chat where you're watching from. And we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. We have Fox Chapel, we have Banyan Boutiques, we have quiltwoman.com, and our new sponsor, Cheryl Lynch Quilts. And she is around here somewhere. There's Cheryl. Cheryl Lynch Quilt, she was a guest, and she'll probably be a guest again sometime soon because she has some new stuff coming for you. We are recording our broadcast, so we will put it up on our YouTube channel, So What Zoomcast, so you can see it at another time. So just make sure anybody behind you is wearing clothes. Just in case. We were crashed last week and they were not wearing clothes. So we just want to make sure everybody got their clothes on this week. We like to keep it nice and casual, nice and comfortable. So we encourage your participation. And in my glass today is what's left of my margarita mix that I was making frozen margaritas, but I blew up the machine and I was able to salvage some of it. So when you're showing us what you have in your glass, if that occasion should arise, and we will drink it, you will get a ding dong. If we won't drink it and we're gonna watch Siobhan, because she's real nice to everybody. She gives you a thumbs up all the time. Okay, but if we won't drink it, if you get a lot of thumbs down, okay, you get the buzzer. So, Deb, do I even need to ask you?
No, don't bother. Too early for me.
Up somewhere. It's 5 o'clock. So I'm not even asking you anymore.
Good.
Our guest today, and I lost her. She's a big deal over there at Gold Peak Media. And her name is Lori Baker, and she makes all the magazines happen. And she's going to tell you all about herself and what she does. And then she's going to talk about the process, what happens when you send in a design, and how do the designs end up in the magazines. So, hi, Lori.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
We're so happy to have you. Where are you calling from? Where are you broadcasting from?
I am in Brighton, Colorado, just north of Denver International Airport.
I lay over in Denver frequently.
Yeah.
So you can come get me and we can go out to dinner.
There you go. Give me a holler.
Yeah. So, what do you have in your glass?
Apple juice. I'm still at work.
We just want to make sure that you're included in that. I wait all day to play with my buzzers and ding-dongs. So, when you came to Gold Peak Media, you had a big background.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I've sewn all my life, as long as I can remember, but I was a garment seamstress until, primarily until about 1994. And then I had disposable income and I bought a new sewing machine and I started playing with doing quilts. in 2003, I went to work for Pfaff Sewing Machines as one of their educators. And then in 2012, I think it was, I went to work for Creative Craft Group, which was then acquired by somebody else, which was then acquired by somebody else. And now it's Golden Peak Media, but it's the same position I hired on to Creative Craft Group back in 2012. My official title is Acquisitions Editor, but I'm also the editor of McCall's Quilting.
Wow.
There's a team of us that put together the magazines. Linda said, I do the magazines. Well, I don't. There's a team of it. We have several artists who create the diagrams and so forth, and then a team of us that write the directions and proofread over and over and over again, so what we get you is accurate.
Cool. And did you work for somebody else, another magazine beforehand?
Yes, when I got hired, I was the editor of Quilter's Newsletter, which was my favorite quilting magazine of all time. And I was so excited to be hired as their editor.
Yeah, that was a great magazine. That was.
Oh, man.
So now, if I want to submit something to one of the magazines, and which magazines? What's your family?
Okay, in the Golden Quilting Group, that's our office is in Golden, Colorado, so that's what I'm referring to. We have 4 titles that we work with. We work with Fawns and Porter's Love of Quilting, Quilt Maker, Fawns and Porter's Quick and Easy, which is brand new, and McCall's Quilting. And if you want to submit something to any one of those 4 magazines, you actually email me.
Oh. And then, so you would get the design, and then what happens?
Okay, if you email me a design, and it has to be electronic because we do everything, especially now, we're all at home working, so everything has to be electronic. I can't hold it up and show it to my coworkers. I have to be able to email it to them. So you send me your design, I put it in a file, and then about every 2 months, we have a meeting for each of the magazines. So we've got 4 different meetings, but they're all about 2 months apart, where the whole team looks at and selects the quilts for an issue. We really like it if you have an EQ or some sort of software kind of design, so we can play with colors and different fabrics. Once we select a design, then I'm going to email that designer, and the editor and that designer will talk together about what fabrics they're going to use to make the quilt.
So you're not guaranteed that if you submit it in Island Vibes, that's the one it's going to be in.
That's correct, because we need to make a magazine so it appeals to a lot of people. So if all of the designs came in, for example, in 30s reproduction prints, well, we can't do that because everybody doesn't like 30s reproduction prints. We need to use several different color schemes and types of fabric. So yeah, what you submitted in may not be the final thing that happens.
So does each magazine have its own flavor?
Absolutely. We work really hard at that because we want you to buy the one that fits your taste. So if you are a modern quilter, then there's a magazine that we're kind of going to steer you toward. If you're a beginning quilter, we're going to steer you toward the new magazine, the Fawns and Porter's Quick and Easy. McCall's is traditional patterns, but with more contemporary fabrics. Fawns and Porter's Love of Quilting is traditional with more traditional fabrics. In Quilt Maker, we really work hard at having lots and lots of nice quilting ideas for the actual quilting, not just the making of the quilt top, but how you quilt it.
Now, there's something big, and Debbie and I know this for sure. There are deadlines.
Oh, yes. I always say that deadlines has the word dead in it. And that means something. That means it's real serious that you hit that deadline, because there are so many things that happen. Once you get your quilt to us, we have to photograph it, we have to examine it and make sure that it's like the design that you submitted, because we're already writing the instructions before we even get your quilt based on the electronic design that you sent to us. So yeah, lots of deadlines are important, and there's lots that happens after.
What was our shortest deadline, Deb? We did 7 days.
When if
short ones. That's some short ones.
if we select one of your quilts, I'm going to send you a request for that quilt approximately 5.5 months before the on sale date, and we need the quilt about 2.5 months. So you're going to have a good amount of time. You're going to have 2.5 months or so to make that quilt. But remember that you need to settle on the fabric and request the fabric, and sometimes that takes a while.
How important can you say would be always adhering to the deadlines? I mean, that was drilled into me the very first magazine. The most important thing is you always make your deadline.
We actually have wonderful, wonderful designers that we don't even look at their designs anymore because they won't hit a deadline. They miss the deadline. You know, things happen sometimes, and something crazy happens and you miss a deadline. It happens. We understand that. But if we have a designer that we've accepted 3 quilts and they've all come in 2 weeks after the deadline and we're scrambling like crazy, then that's too hard for us. So we simply don't work with them anymore.
Yeah, I think that the one that we did, can't remember which one it was for. We got the fabric on a Monday, we pieced it, wrote it, quilted it, bound it, and it was out on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we moved.
Yeah, I was going to say that happens sometimes. I know it does. And like I said, you know, we understand. But if it happens again and again, then it's a pattern that we can't work with.
Cool. All right, your questions are starting to come in already, so I'm going to jump over to them for now because I still have more. Is there another magazine as good as Quilter's newsletter that has like a variety of articles?
You know, we're working at including more interesting things besides just the pattern in all of our magazines. But, you know, honestly, Quilter's newsletter was one of a kind. It was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Denise would like to know, is there a team of people that create the quilts in different fabrics?
There used to be. There is not anymore, simply because we've trimmed the staff down so that we simply don't have time to do that. We do sometimes make color options, but we'll make 3 blocks for a table runner rather than a whole quilt.
Okay. Now, Kim would like to know, do you have backups to replace designers who don't meet a deadline to fill your space?
We have a couple, 3 quilters who work on staff that we have. Well, one of them I can think of in particular. She has at home quilts that if we have an emergency, she says, oh, I can bring in this. Will that work? So yeah, we have backups in case something goes amok.
Hey, Lynn would like to know, do you prefer to showcase new fabrics in quilts?
Yes, and here's the reason why. Our main source of income is not the subscription dollars, it's the advertising dollars. So we want to keep our advertisers happy. We want them to have things in the magazine that they are currently selling. So yes, we want new fabrics.
So somebody could send in something in, I don't know, some mold that's in EQ, and you'll turn around and you'll say, hey, I really like Linda Hahn's stuff. Why don't you contact Banyan Boutiques? And they'll hook you up with the fabric and then resubmit it in. So you'll do that. You might direct which company
Right.
would have fabric that is coming, because you know more than we know.
That's right, we do. And we can also look at the whole magazine and we can say, well, we've got this company, and this company, but we don't have this one. So look at this company because we need them to be represented in this particular issue.
Okay. Jill said she really liked the info on new products, exhibit shows, and people, as well as the columnists. I've never seen quilt designs for other holidays, such as EID. What is that? Who celebrates that? Jill, what's EID? I'm sorry, I'm sheltered down here in Florida. I know what Hanukkah is. I know what Ramadan is. I don't know what EID is.
It's the Festival of Lights, and I think is it a Hindu or Buddhist holiday? It's in one of the Eastern religions. It might even be a Muslim holiday, but it's a special holiday, and it's in the winter time. So it's just that I would like to see quilt designs from other cultures, not just Christian Christmas ones.
Okay.
And I totally agree with that. We need those designers to submit ideas to us. If we don't have the submission, then, obviously we aren't going to choose it because it's not there. So I'd love to see designs for Hanukkah and Ramadan and EID and all that sort of thing. I'd really encourage you, if you're one of those people out there that practices any of those, send me your ideas. I'd love to see them.
I practice Cinco de Mayo.
And okay, and I just saw something, a Day of the Dead thing. That would be fun.
That's Margarita Day.
That too.
But you're working far in advance.
Yes.
So if somebody's looking to send you a Christmas or a Hanukkah design, they can't send it now because that issue has been planned months ago.
Oh, it's already
Yeah.
almost done.
Yeah.
Almost done. We are working on the March, April, May stuff right now. I'm going to be sending out a call first of the week for the May, June issues. That's how far in advance we're working.
But people shouldn't be afraid to send something in now, not necessarily for designated holiday things, but they shouldn't be afraid to send something in because you never know when you might need it or where it might fit in.
Exactly. That's exactly right, Linda.
So now when you get the design, you send out the contract, and you said that you start writing the pattern and stuff before you get the quilt.
Yep.
Then what happens?
When the quilt comes in, we check it against, like I said, against their original submission to make sure that they did what they said they were going to do. Once in a while, we had one lady not too long ago that forgot that she'd said that there was going to be a 3-inch border. So we had to go back and do our yardage calculations over again because we had all this fabric for a 3-inch border clear around a queen size quilt. So like I said, we check it against the original submission. We check it against the artwork that our designer has already done. And then we get serious about getting the pattern finalized.
Now, what happens if you get the quilt and it really looks kind of bad?
We have only had one that we actually sent back because of the magic of Photoshop. If there's a couple of things that are not wonderful, our artists can Photoshop in, a portion from the upper left-hand corner to cover up that portion in the bottom right-hand corner that's bad.
So you
And like I said, in all the time that I've been here, we've only sent back one quilt. However, there is that additional thing of if you send in a quilt that's really frightening and we can rescue it, chances are we're going to remember that when you send in another submission and we're very hesitant about accepting it.
Denise would like to know, if you decide to change the fabric, explain how the quilt gets made in the new fabrics.
That would be the person who submits it. Ordinarily, it's an electronic file, a diagram from EQ or whatever, and they've not actually made the quilt. So then once we choose the fabric, they make it in the fabric that we choose. And we really do try to make it fabrics that they like as well as we like. We want them to like their quilt after they're done. And so they would then make it in the new fabrics that we'd chosen. Once in a while, we'll get somebody and they'll say, oh, I simply don't have time. They've already made the quilt. That's what they submitted, and we want it in something else. And then we have a team of home sewers that we can have make the quilt for us.
Wow. And Terry would like to know, if someone were to send in a design for like a holiday, what is the earliest you would receive it as a possible submission?
You can send that at any time. It just won't go into the meeting until it's the right. If it's a Valentine quilt, we'll save it until the time that we're selecting the January, February quilts. If you send it in March, that's going to be a little while. That it's going to have to wait till we're working on the February issues of the magazines.
If somebody sends you a design, whatever it might be, do you decide this would be good for Quilt Maker, or this would be good for Quick and Easy, or this would be good for Love of Quilting? Or does it go to all the magazines and they pick?
I actually have two submission files. One is for Quick and Easy, and the other is for the other 3 magazines, because depending on the fabric, it could fit any of the other 3 magazines. Mm-hmm. The Quick and Easy ones have to be quick and easy.
So like my stuff is out. I'm thinking, probably.
Yeah.
Kristen would like to know, do the issues always have a theme?
That's something that we've just started doing in the last, I'd say year or so, where we're trying for a theme. partly because it makes it fun to write the cover lines. If we've got 4 quilts that are garden themed, then that's a fun cover line. I don't know about the other editors, but cover lines are hard for me to come up with. Something that'll really catch your eye when you're walking by the newsstand. Those are hard. So I'm really liking having a theme because it makes at least one of those cover lines easier.
And you go to quilt market and you go to quilt shows as well and scan?
I have always gone to quilt shows. It's just one of the fun things about being a quilter. But yes, I do go to quilt market. When I go to quilt market, my intention when I get there is to walk the entire floor twice, at least. I try to go one time really quickly so I can see the new things before the editor of another magazine, and I can get my hand in the slot and say, hey, I want that. And then the second time I walk the floor, I go through slowly to make sure I didn't miss anything on that first fast walkthrough.
How many submissions do you get? I mean,
now, see, I wish I'd done my homework. I have a request from one of the people up higher in the structure that wanted to know that exact same thing. And I don't know the answer for sure. I know that my submission file for additional quilts right now has around 300 ideas in it. And I clean out the file from everything except the seasonal things about every 2 months. So that's what I've received in the last 4 months or so, is about 300.
wow. Wow. Do you try to have like something beginner, something intermediate, something advanced, and then maybe some applique? Do you try to have each issue cover a lot of things?
Yes. Again, because we want it to appeal to a large range of people. And if I have everything challenging in an issue, then the person who's only made 2 quilts is going to say, ooh, maybe I don't need that one. And yeah, there's the different techniques. It's good to have something applique in nearly every issue. English paper piecing is a big deal right now. Nice to have that fairly frequently in at least in the 3 more traditional magazines. Not so much in Quick and Easy, but maybe. What if we did English paper piecing with a little bit bigger pieces? Would that make it easy enough? A thing to consider.
Yeah. Oh, Cheryl would like to know, do you prefer pieced or applique? Is that a personal question, Cheryl, or is that a...
If it's a personal question, I love applique. I really, really love applique. I do raw edge applique because I'm not patient. And frankly, I don't see well enough to do handwork nicely enough to suit myself. So I do fused and machine applique, and I really love the look it gives to a quilt. As far as what we prefer as Golden Peak Media for our titles, we like both. Because our readers like both.
But doesn't applique take up more pages than piece directions?
It depends on the particular pattern. Applique, yes, takes up space, but so do some of the piece things that need templates, that sort of thing. And we do have to consider our total page count. So if you have, well, for example, we had one a while back that came in that was applique, and she had like 6 different flowers spread all over. We had to tell her, okay, pick a flower
Mhm.
and put that same flower in all 6 locations because of space.
Mhm.
Here is a fabulous question. Good job, Connie.
Oh, yeah.
How do you check if a duplicated design or original, and how do you handle a copy of a quilt from years ago?
That's one of those places where it's wonderful to have the staff that we've got. One of our staff members has this incredible memory, and she'll say, oh, that looks like a quilt that we did in Quilt Maker. I think it was in the late 90s. Okay, so fine, we'll look. And if it is an actual copy, then we can't use it. If it's derived from an original pattern, then we can give a shout out to that original pattern and print it, the new version.
So what happens if something slips by? I mean, not necessarily for your magazines directly, but what would happen if something like that occurred? I mean, I guess somebody would be complaining to you.
Somebody would be complaining to us. We'd have copyright issues that I don't even want to think about. Because if it's one of our magazines that it was copied from, then we have egg on our face and it makes us look bad. If it's from another magazine, then that's really an awful situation. I don't want to think about it.
But with the litigious society we have now,
Exactly.
and I think everybody has a hair trigger at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So interesting. Fabulous question, Connie. Fabulous.
I do have another thing I wanted to say about that. You can have a log cabin block. Well, you know, a log cabin block is not a copyrighted thing. There are dozens of things you can do with a log cabin block. So that wouldn't be an issue. There are lots of different ways to lay it out. If you did it in exactly the same colors and laid it out exactly the same way as somebody did in an issue 5 years ago, then that would be a something that we would avoid. But just because it has a log cabin block in it doesn't mean it's something we'd want to avoid. All sorts of ideas that would be useful.
What would happen if somebody wanted to teach one of the designs that was in your magazine? What would they do?
They buy an issue of that magazine for each and every student in their class. They get permission from us and they're good to go.
So who owns, that we didn't even cover this. When you accept a design, there's different ways you can accept it, like first rights or whatever. People might not understand that.
Let me try to do a quick explanation of it. Our standard contract reads that we have exclusive rights on a project that we accept. We have exclusive rights for 90 days after the sale date. Once that on sale date passes, 90 days go by. If that designer wants to write her own pattern of that quilt and market it, she's within her rights. She can do that. But if we want to, 2 years from now, republish that, we can still do that too.
Without paying them again.
I'm sorry?
Without paying them again, they get paid once.
That's correct. They get paid once.
Yeah. So Lynn would like to know, is there a library database index to quilts and patterns that have been in the magazines?
Something published? No, not that I can think of. If you go to our website, and that's quiltingdaily.com, you can look through what's there. And if you remember the name of a quilt, you can put it in the search engine and probably come up with a pattern for it. But as far as a specific database or index that's available to all of you, no. I have things that I can check so I don't name a quilt the same thing as anything that we've already published, but that wouldn't be helpful to you.
Who names the quilts? Us or you?
It depends. If you send in a name for your quilt that hasn't already been used, chances are we'll use it. But lots of times it's already been used. So then the editorial staff has to name it.
Nobody likes my names.
Either that or they've been used before.
No, nobody likes my names.
Sometimes that's the hardest thing, is coming up with a name for the quilt.
Yeah.
It is. It's really hard. At least for me, on a personal level, when I finish a quilt, I'm a real stickler for, I want to name my quilt, I want to record it on my database, and I want to put a label on it. And I have the hardest time coming up with a good name most of the time.
I come up with good names. They're just probably not appropriate for publication.
I hear that.
Yeah, we won't go there. So does anybody have any more questions for Lori? Give them to us now.
I do have one more thing I want to say, and that is, for those of you who are designers, I would love to hear from you. If you go to quiltingdaily.com and search for submission guidelines, it will tell you what you need to do. It will give you my email address. I would love to hear from you.
I'm doing this right now for you.
Cool. I see we have a question about the standard fee. And yes, there is a standard fee for quilts that we accept, and it's based on size. And right off the top of my head, I can't rattle it off for you.
So size does matter.
Size matters, yeah.
We should have told them people that crashed last week. Cheryl got it. She knew where I was going. Size does matter. We'll just do that. Was that inappropriate? Sorry. Okay. Oh, we got another one. I just went through, Kristen, I just went through the process for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. The process was easy to follow. Yeah.
Kristen, I'm glad to hear that. Linda, I noticed in what you said, submission guidelines, it's under Quilting Daily.
Quilting Daily. I got distracted with the size, thinking about sizes.
We're not surprised.
When you talk about size, do you have space in your magazines for other projects, like maybe table runners or something like that?
Yes, we do. And in fact, we look for those things because you know, and I know that there are always those occasions where I forgot I was invited to this wedding shower. It's this weekend. What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I need a table runner. I can't do a queen size quilt.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we're interested in table runners, mug rugs, tote bags, smaller projects.
And Nancy, is salary given for supplying designs? Where were you? We just, size.
Size.
You got so distracted with the sizes.
And if you send in an idea, that does not get paid. It's only when we accept the idea that you would get paid.
So, okay. All right. Laurie, we're going to put you on hold for a couple of minutes. But guess what, people? I actually have a demo for you. Wow. I haven't done this in a while. I even surprised Deb. All right,
You're not going to shave off your eyebrows, are you?
no. I think I wore the battery out because we had to take care of the other end. So I think the batteries are expired for the moment.
Make me
I'm
laugh.
sorry. I did get my hair cut though. This is the first time it's my. Can I do that? No. Okay. I got my hair cut. This first time it's my natural color. I couldn't even tell because I took care of everything with the other thing. So TMI. All right. When you have a rotary cutter and you need to change the blades, my rotary cutter is very unergonomically correct. It's just a plain old rotary cutter. And you see I have my initials all over the place for when people steal them in class. So when you're going to change your blade, you're going to unscrew it and you're going to put everything in the order that you take it off. Okay? There's my blade. I'm going to swap that out, and I'm going to take the old blade, and I'm going to put it back in the case. So I have a separate case for used blades, and then a separate case for new blades. So when I put it back, I'm not going to tell you how many rotary blades I change in class. And then I'm just putting it back on there. So lay it out as you take it off. And somebody even put a smiley face. Look at that, there's a smiley face in there. I just saw that. There are some rotary cutters that are for left-handers as well. Make sure that when you open your blade, the blade is against the ruler. That the blade is against the ruler. If you're cutting like this, that's not going to work for you. You want the blade against the ruler. And don't be cheap. It's really, really important to have a sharp blade all the time. This is where a lot of quilters will say, oh, you know, they don't want to get another blade, they're expensive, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You're going to ruin more fabric by having an old blade than you will if you just kept a new blade all the time. And you can layer cut. And I'll do a cutting demo. There we go. So hopefully somebody learned how to change your blade. And that's my hair. And that's natural color. First time since high school. So the natural color. You need to know that. All right. All right. Deb's doing a sew-along. Another one of her free sew-alongs. Where are you, Deb? What are you doing? I spotlighted.
I'm here.
Oh wait, I gotta share. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm doing a pieced patchwork pumpkin pot holder. Okay, let me see.
Say that 3 times fast.
No, I can't even say it once. Okay, so this is going to be the project. And you can, if you want, add a little jack-o'-lantern face to it, or you can just quilt it as a pumpkin or plaster. So I will have a supply list for anybody who's interested in joining the classes on the 24th, is that right?
Yes,
24th? Where's my calendar?
at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock. 24th at 2 o'clock. And anybody who wants to join is welcome. Just email me debstan2@aol.com and I will give you these supplies. Basically, you need 22-inch squares of various orange fabrics and 1/8 of a yard of background fabric, whatever color you want, and 1 2-inch square of the green or whatever color you want for your stem. So join me on the 24th at 2 o'clock and see you then.
O'clock Eastern time. Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Yeah, we're learning all this
Yes, Eastern
time
time.
zone stuff. Because I get confused. I don't even get this time zone right. All right, so I just put that in there. I put Deb's email in the chat. Coming up in the month of September, in case you missed it, on this Saturday is an intro to Electric Quilt 8. If you have the program or you're thinking about buying the program, join me for like 2 hours and we're going to walk through how to make a quilt from start to finish, how to import fabric, export designs, export blocks. I'll give you all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff so you'll be ready to submit your stuff to Lori. And I'll tell you how to do that. On September 26th is, by request, I'm doing the Wicked Wahine quilt again. Everybody loves that quilt. That's one of the New York beauties that's incorporated into the Carpenter's Star. You're going to do it with 1 pin, and I did my whole quilt and quilted it in 11 hours. The binding took me like 20 hours. Actually, Deb did the binding, so it was how long it took me to send it to New Jersey. Who we got coming next week? I don't know if she's here. Is Patience here? Patience
Not see her, no.
not here.
No,
Next,
not this week. No, she's not here this week.
oh, there. Next week we have Patience Griffin. She is, hang on Terry, I'll get to you with that answer. Patience writes the quilt novels. They're called
Kilts and quilts.
I can't even say that. I can't.
Kilts and quilts. It's a Scotland-based stories.
She's also a fabric designer. She's one of the guest designers for Banyan Boutiques. So I know there's going to be some really awesome door prizes. You can tolerate us for an hour. There's going to be some really awesome door prizes. On the 23rd, we had to reschedule an appearance. So I am filling in on September 23rd, and I'm going to be the guest. And we have, besides Deb, we have Siobhan and Denise, who are collecting all kinds of blackmail pictures and stories and stuff. Denise, if you, or Siobhan, if either one of you want to put your email in the chat, if anybody has pictures, probably they're inappropriate, but I will be the guest on the 23rd. Anything goes, and we'll see where it goes. On September 30th, we have Krista Moser coming, and she is going to talk to us about battings, all kinds of battings. She just has a book out with our sponsor, Fox Chapel Publishing. Okay, our new stuff. Deb and I have a new add-on EQ program, and it is for Rock That Quilt Block. And there's 72, how many projects are in the book, Deb? 12? There's 12 projects in the book, but there's 72 designs in this program. we did new designs, and EQ contributed new designs. There's 72 different programs. And we all know my shipping department, not the best. He decided that the quilting journal is this month's special. If you have friends, some people have more than one friend. If you have friends, they might like this for a gift. It's $10 free shipping. And it has, you know, the regular quilt stuff to keep your records. And I made sure, because I had input, I made sure that there's information when you go to a class, and you can put down what color the teacher is using or what fabric or whatever. You can put down what you're using. So you don't get to class and you ask the teacher, where does this go? And you have to ask them, well, what did you substitute that for? And they can't remember. So we have to measure it and try to figure out where it goes. So, yep. So anyway, if you guys anybody have any questions about anything? EQ8, the time is 12 o'clock, 12 to 2, 12 to 3 Eastern time. And that's on this Saturday. You can find the class registration on my website, froghollowdesigns.com. Go into the store and click on virtual classes. You can earn a virtual class for free by referring me to your guild or group. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. So, without further ado, hold on. They get so excited when it's buzzer time. Seasonal flags. Nancy, what are you doing? Seasonal flags. Seasonal flags like garden flags? Oh. Deb?
I think most people use an acrylic, like a polyester or something that's outdoor fabric for seasonal flags. Because they're outdoors.
Where do I find out that kind of Walmart, that type of place?
Yeah, I would think you're going to have to go to a store, a non-quilting store. Most of them don't carry that kind of fabric. And I would think you'd have to go to a box store and get that kind, that kind of fabric. Yeah. Yeah.
What's a box store?
Like Joann's or Hancock's, depends on where, I guess, where you are, what they have. But since I know you're in New Jersey, you'd have to go with Joann's or Walmart probably, or maybe Hobby Lobby or something like that, whatever, somewhere that would sell fabrics other than quilting fabrics.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this means it's door prize time. It's door prize time. So where's Stevie? Stevie, where are you? If we can't see you, who's ever on this iPad, we need to see your happy face for door prizes. Okay, Stevie.
She's right below you.
I found her.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Stevie.
There you go.
Attention quilters. It's door prize time, and Stevie's going to pick for Quilt Woman.
Okay. Oh, I got myself.
Oh,
That doesn't work.
cheat.
Denise.
Denise, Denise?
Denise.
You know what I want to see, Chickie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iced tea. I know.
I'm not even asking Siobhan.
I got so so excited I forgot.
Is there liquor in there?
No.
Siobhan, I'm not even going there. I'm not even going there.
Ah.
Got your email. And where is Cheryl? What are you doing?
So I'm giving away a pair of my custom tweezers with the little case.
Will they do eyebrows
Yes,
and chin hairs and stuff?
they were meant to do eyelashes, but yeah, they're excellent. You need a pair? I'll send one your way.
Yeah,
Okay, my turn to pick?
yeah.
Okay. I picked Barbara Torney.
Barbara, where are you? Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Unmute yourself.
Hi.
So you
Thank
need
you.
to send me your email address or just put it in the chat.
Oh,
All right.
all right. This looks like she is with the program. What is in that glass?
Orange juice and Malibu rum.
Woo!
What do you think, people? Yeah, everybody, thumbs up. You get a double ding dong. Whoop. There we go. Double ding dong for Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Deb.
Yes. Okay, let's see. We'll put on gallery view. I'm going to pick Sharon Aurora.
Hi, Sharon. Yeah, unmute yourself. That looks like it's coffee.
Tea. Tea.
Tea?
I'm drinking tea.
Just like
Yeah.
regular old tea with maybe sugar and cream. I don't know. Siobhan's liking it. Siobhan likes everything.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you
Okay,
think?
it's honey.
Regular tea? We're getting some of these regular tea. It's okay. Okay. Because I control the buzzers. Make sure we have your email, Sharon, and we will send you a door prize.
And Barbara.
And Barbara.
Barbara, we got Barbara.
Sharon and Barbara.
Oh, okay. Oh, she gave me her address.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Okay. Deb, that was you, right?
Yes.
All right. And Lori goes last. So now it's me. All right. Show me your stuff. Okay, both you guys won. Forget it. I gotta do it again. Good God, Barbara, I'm picking you every time. Okay, that's the Facebook. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Okay. Eileen, put your email in the chat. That's my coupons. All sticky. Yeah. That margarita.
Okay, so who's your winner?
It's
Who's your
Lori.
winner?
Huh?
Eileen?
It's Lori's turn. Lori, what are you doing for a door prize? I gotta get a towel.
We have an ebook. I wrote it down. 501 quilting motifs, both for machine or hand quilting. They were featured in Quilt Maker. It's a great ebook. It's 208 pages. So I think it's a fun one. I think you'll like it, whoever the lucky person is.
Hey, you have to close your eyes and pick.
Okay, I just changed it to the gallery view, and I'm going to
Okay.
shut my eyes and pick.
Mhm.
Oh, I got Stevie.
Oh,
Okay, I'll do it again.
yes, do it again.
And that time I got Denise and she already won something. One more try. Jill Patterson.
Jill Patterson, where are you? There. What is in your glass, woman?
Hey, it's early here. It's water. Guys, that
Come on, sit, put your
I'm
hands
on a
down.
diet. Alcohol costs too much. And wait.
Yeah, Siobhan,
That's
water,
right, you win anyway.
water,
Go. Good stuff.
water. That's this morning.
Thank you, Lori. That's wonderful. I really appreciate it. So I send you my email.
Just send me your email.
Who is that guy? We got another guy on here? Holy moly.
Missed it.
So we'll see you next week with Patience Griffin. You can follow us on Facebook. We have So What Zoomcast is our Facebook page. And then we will put this recording up on Friday. I upload on Friday mornings so that what you guys have is a little special for a day. So nobody has any more questions. We want to thank Lori Baker. Lori, you rock.
Thank you.
And you were so informative.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. And I want to just say again, if you have ideas that you'd like to see published, send them to me. I really would love to hear from you.
And it doesn't hurt because you never know. You just never know what could happen.
Exactly. If you don't try, we can't choose you. If you try, maybe so.
Yeah. And you never know. All right. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. Maybe I'll have a new hair color by then. Don't know. Never know. So, all right.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Linda.
I'm glad y'all came.
Deb, did you stop?
Bill, did you send your email to Lori?
I did.